Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shashank Ranjan, and I welcome you all to the Daily Current Affairs show from the National Defense Institute. The Daily Current Affairs is posted on our institute website, www.nationaldefenseinstitute.in. NDI is a leading institute of India that prepares you for All India Sainik School Entrance Examination, NDA, CDS, CAPF, AFCAT, till the SSB, where we believe in holding your hand till you get those stars on your shoulder and the emblem on your head. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin our discussion for the day. So the first news article that's in front of us is C2C variant of BrahMos missile. India successfully tested an advanced C2C variant of BrahMos supersonic cruise missile from INS Vikram Vishakhapatnam. BrahMos, deployed by Navy on its warship first in 2005, has the capability to hit sea-based target beyond the radar zone horizon. The naval variant was originally tested in October and December 2020 from the Navy's indigenously built stealth destroyer INS Chennai and Rajput class destroyer INS Ranvijay, respectively. This version of missile has been designed to launch either in vertical or horizontal mode from moving or stationary asset to target both land and sea target. The missiles fired at a speed of 2.8 Mach or nearly 3 times the speed of sound significantly increase the capability of the ship in engaging long-range targets. BrahMos missiles are designed and developed by BrahMos Aerospace, a joint venture company set up by the Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) and Mahsi and Mahsinostrothrenia of Russia. Okay, so these see the BrahMos are basically BrahMos has two names: Brahmaputra, River Brahmaputra, that's in India, and Mos stands for Mahsinostrothrenia, which is again a river in Russia. So these two are the big rivers, the two countries. So with their name, the name BrahMos has come. Okay. Next we have is the Deen Dayal Port Trust. Deen Dayal Port Trust under the Ports, Shipping and Waterway Ministry has crossed the 100 million metric ton milestone. With this, Deen Dayal Port Trust has become the first government sector major port to cross the mark in the fiscal year. The feat has achieved despite the constraint arising in the international trade and shipping due to the ongoing COVID pandemic. In the last year, Deen Dayal Port Trust handled 11.32 million metric tons of cargo, which had contributed to about 18% of the total cargo handled by major ports. India-South Korea trade relations. Minister for Trade of South Korea, Yoo Han-koo, met with the Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal in New Delhi. Both the ministers held wide-ranging discussions covering the whole gamut of the bilateral trade and investment-related aspects. The ministers agreed to impart the fresh momentum for discussions on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement upgradation negotiations. India and Korea aims to achieve the trade target of $50 billion before 2030. They agreed to address difficulties expressed by the industry from both sides and instructed their respective negotiation terms to meet on a regular basis to conclude the CEPA upgradation negotiation as soon as possible. The ministers agreed to boost the bilateral trade between India and Korea to achieve the growth in a fair and balanced manner to the mutual advantage of both the sides. India has got the approval of the United States Department of Agriculture (USDA) for export of Indian mangoes to USA. Okay, so earlier on the base of the sanitary factor, the India's mango were not being sent. Also, because of the infestation of certain insects, the Indian mangoes were not allowed to be exported out to USA, but now the Indian mangoes are allowed to get exported out to USA. The consumers in United States would now have access to quality mangoes from India. Over 1,000 metric ton of mangoes were exported to USA in 2019-2020. Exporters have expressed hope that the export of mangoes this year will surpass the figure in 2019-20. USDA approval would pave the way for the export of mangoes from mango production belts situated in Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. The Agriculture and Processed Food Product Export Development Authority, APIDA, said that this would improve the opportunity for export of other delicious varieties of mangoes from the north and the east India, such as Langda, Chosa, the cherry, and Fazli. The export of Indian mangoes has been restricted by USA since 2020 due to the restriction imposed on the international travel during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, the next we have is the man-portable anti-tank guided missile. DRDO successfully test-fired the man-portable anti-tank guided missile MP8 TGM. The indigenously developed anti-tank missile is low-weight and fire and forget missile. The missile successfully destroyed the target during the test flight. The present test was to prove the consistent performance of the minimum range. All the mission objectives were met. The mission has a miniaturized infrared imaging seeker and advanced avionics for onboard control and guidance. The missile performance has been proven for maximum range in the earlier test trials. Okay, the next news that we have is transgenders prisoners. The Ministry of Home Affairs has written to all states to ensure the separate accommodation for transgender persons in prison. It is advised, it also advised the state and the union territories that the prison administration register may be suitably revised to include transgender as a category other than male and female gender. It also asked that similar provision may be made in prison management system in maintaining the electronics records. The government enacted the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act in 2019, and the advisory has been sent to ensure their safety and to protect them against any form of exploitation in the context of prisons and correctional facilities. However, while making provisions for a separate enclosure for transgender prisoners, due care may be taken by the prison authorities that this may not result in their complete isolation or propagate the social stigma among other prisoners. There should also be adequate preservation of right to privacy and dignity with separate toilets for the trans men and trans women, as well as the shower facilities. It said that the physical search of transgender person may be conducted by person of their preferred gender or by a trained medical professional or a paramedic. The person searching such must ensure the safety, privacy, and dignity of the person being searched. At the stage where the search procedure requires stripping, it must be done in a private room or a partition. All right. So this is very good because since the independence of our country, there was no provision for the transgender, and there was a lot of exploitation cases that were coming from the prison, which was not good news for us as the whole country. Now this the new provision that has been brought is very very appreciable, and such thing has to be there in place. Okay, the next news that we have is a smart city, smart urbanization. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is organizing a series of 30 events under the clarion call of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav by Prime Minister to commemorate the 75th anniversary of independence. The event will culminate in the grand finale of a Smart Cities, a Smart Urbanization Conference, wherein 6 main events will be organized in Surat, tentatively on 4th and 5th Feb 2022. A formal release of an illustrated brochure themed Smart Cities, Smart Urbanization was done by Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Puri virtually. He said that it is befitting that the entire country has come together to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. He added that only 17% of Indians live in the urban areas at the time of independence, and this percentage has more than doubled now. He said that the government is committed to providing first grade living spaces to its citizens. Azadi Ka Mahotsav celebration were inaugurated by Mr. Narendra Modi in March last year, which marked 75 weeks countdown to the 75th anniversary of India's independence in August this year. The celebration will continue till August 2023. UNESCO's World Heritage Center. Now, UNESCO's World Heritage Center has agreed to publish Hindi descriptions of India's UNESCO World Heritage sites on its website. The permanent delegation of India to UNESCO yesterday announced that on occasion of World Hindi Day, UNESCO's World Heritage Center has agreed to publish Hindi description of India's UNESCO World Heritage site on World Heritage Center, Vishwa Dharotar Samiti, World Heritage Council website. Okay, so on the see, this is a good news coming for India. Why? Because see, almost every country in the world, like China, Japan, all these countries, France, so all these countries have their own national language in which there are works that going on in United Nations. So you can find all documents in all the languages. There people can read in their own languages. But India did not have any language because of the conflict, because India has many, many languages, right? Starting from Jammu and Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, each and every state has their own language. Okay. Now, the most commonly spoken languages in India is Hindi. Hindi is the most spoken language in our country, where a person who is either Assami would also know Assami and speaking Hindi. A person who is from Maharashtra will speak Marathi as well as speak Hindi. Person who is Gujarati will speak Gujarati as well as Hindi. So a person from Punjab would speak Punjabi as well as Hindi. So Hindi is like most spoken language of our country. But still, since there is an internal conflict that goes on within the country for selecting one language as a national language, therefore it even becomes difficult at the world stage to make one language to represent the whole country, to represent the country of India. But still, this is an initiative at the world stage that, okay, the internal problem, the conflict that we have with selection of the national language is okay from the Indian uh, for an internal conflict within our country. But at the world stage, there must be unity that should be shown by the country to give to the world one language from India as the language to be used everywhere. Okay, and that is why, because if one person from Assam cannot be expected to learn Punjabi, or the same person in Punjab cannot be expected to learn Marathi, or the person in Maharashtra cannot be made to learn Tamil, Telugu. A person in Andhra Pradesh cannot be the person who is a Telugu speaking cannot be made to learn Tamil. Okay, because these are all the regional languages of various different states, and therefore speaking these languages become very difficult. But Hindi is one languages which is most spoken in our country, and therefore at the world stage, taking it to the world stage was important. Now, this is the first time that the United Nations organization, one organization that belongs to United Nations, has agreed to establish Hindi description of India's World Heritage sites on its website. So let's hope that one language from India should be adopted at United Nations General Assembly as well for its official purpose. Okay. Next news article that we have is the water purification. Now, why have I discussed this news. It is important because, see, in the SSB, I remember during the time when I was in SSB, this was a topic for group discussion. You must have these kind of points, and this news therefore becomes very important for you, ladies and gentlemen, that the World Heritage has, the UNESCO has recently selected Hindi to be used for publishing World Heritage sites on its website. So this is a good news for us. So these points, just keep these points in your mind while you're going for your SSBs. Okay. Let's move to the next news article, that is water purification. Now, the Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh launched artificial intelligence driven startup by IIT alumni for the water purification through innovative technology. The facility aims to provide the clean drinking water at the price much lesser than the market price. The MOU has been signed between the Technology Development Board, TDB, a statutory body of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and Ms. Swajal Water, MS Swajal Water Private Limited, a tech startup company founded by ex-IITians based in Gurugram. The company is focused on innovative technologies to make reliable, clean drinking water accessible to communities at affordable prices. For their project on IoT enabled, and IoT is Internet of Things enabled point of use solar water purification unit for slums, villages, and high utility areas. The minister said, apart from centers initiatives like the National Rural Drinking Water Program and Jal Jeevan Mission, the private sector should come forward in a big way with state-of-art tech solutions to cover nearly 14 crore households where clean drinking water is yet to reach. Okay, the next that we have here is the first Colombo Security Conclave. The first Colombo Security Conclave, the virtual workshop on developing regional cybersecurity capabilities on the defensive operations, deep dark web handling, and the digital forensics was hosted. It was hosted by the National Security Council Secretariat, NSCS, Government of India, in association with the National Forensic uh, Science University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and the Secretariat of Colombo Security Conclave over 2 days on 10 and 11 January 2022. Delegates from the member and observer states of the Colombo Security Conclave, CSC, including Sri Lanka, Maldives, India, Mauritius, Seychelles, Bangladesh, participated in the workshop. At the fifth Deputy NSA level meeting of the Colombo Security Conclave held on 4th of August 2021, members and observer states had agreed on 4 pillars of cooperation, including maritime security, safety, uh, terrorism and radicalization, trafficking and organized crime, and cybersecurity and protection of the critical infrastructure. The participants agreed to identify the key deliveries and continue to work on the way forward for cooperation on the cybersecurity under the Colombo Security Conclave. All right. So I hope the news discussion was useful to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you have any doubts or queries, please post it in the comment box below. And if you want to ask us anything, you can also dial on to our contact number that's given on our website, www.nationaldefenseinstitute.in. Uh, uh, so let's meet in the next news article uh, tomorrow on 13 January. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day, all of you.